What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and some more Birthright coverage here as we work our way through the various classes for the game. And today we're going to take a look at priests, as they are a little bit different in this setting. Specifically, as you may notice, that elves aren't allowed because actual elves in this setting don't have any gods that they pray to. So certainly something different now. Half-elves are in here, of course, because the human side certainly does have plenty of gods, a whole pantheon and all that. So as far as abilities go, compared to our previous video, the Ranger, where there's a lot of requirements, and even like the Paladin and stuff, the Priest is pretty simple. Just have a wisdom of 9, so pretty easy, right? Prime requisite, naturally, wisdom. So self-obvious there. Anyway, every priest in a Birthright campaign must choose one of the cerulean powers and abide by the weapons, armor, and spheres of access granted to priests of that deity. We'll cover the deities in a whole separate sub-series of videos, as there are some pretty interesting kits in there, and then certainly worth looking at and combining with maybe updating it into whatever edition that you're playing. But certainly, again, I always say try to preserve as much of the campaign settings flavor as possible, and not going overboard with some of the just more wacky and powerful things that are in maybe some of the newer editions. So, but again, a healthy balance is pretty good as well. So in some cases, these restrictions are similar to standard abilities. Give a sec here. Get that back in frame for you guys. Associated with the cleric class, but in other cases, priests may command unusual abilities. We'll see plenty of that when we get into the gods section. So be prepared for that. And again, depending on your god and potentially race of your god, that again offers some interesting possibilities there, especially like the dwarves and stuff. So if your campaign will begin in the Anywhere region, priests, characters choosing to be regents should select from the powers venerated in Anywhere naturally. So non-regent priests can originate anywhere, however. And then halflings actually worship an aspect of Amanale. The dwarves pray to Morden, and then the elves have no deities at all. So naturally, they can't be priests then. Now, again, similar to some of the other classes as far as the regents go, you do get some bodyguards to start with as a regent. So 2d6 plus 5 temple soldiers, or 0 level acolytes, player's choice, as part of their retinue and sort of administrative staff. And then again, we'll see table 4 for that. We've covered that in the fighters video. Acolytes are skilled as scribes, have d6 hit points, and can perform routine temple tasks. As mentioned previously, these assistants affect the division of experience points, when we go on adventures and stuff like that. So again, you don't want to be bogged down with them when you're trying to level up your regent if you're going that route for adventures and all that. And then a non-regent priest in this setting here gains 2d6 plus 5 bodyguards, again, temple soldiers or acolytes upon reaching 8th level, which again will be fairly high in this setting. There's more, I would say, lower level regents and heroes, so 8th is actually pretty far up there for most things in this setting, although there are some very high level characters as well. And in addition, in place of the followers described in the PHB, he or they rather receive a single company of soldiers, also as detailed in table 5. So again, there you might want to update to whatever edition you're playing and just give that priest whatever they sort of deserve or should get as part of whatever the current edition that you're playing would provide them naturally. So, but again, something to cover with your characters, your players at the outset of a campaign, and just sort of melding as best as possible. Again, this old second ed campaign, assuming you're not going to literally go 100% all in on second ed D&D, especially for newer or younger players who didn't grow up on that. So it's probably going to be something like 5th, and just kind of, again, sort of making it all work together there as well. Now, interesting little note on Druids here. So in Cerulia, Druids are priests of Eric, the god of nature and the hunt, and they're especially prominent in the Rurik clans, which we'll get to someday when we finally finish everything up on the core setting here. Still so much to do, but can be found throughout the rest of Cerulia. Certainly free to travel. For more information on the druidic powers and abilities, which we'll cover at some point as well. But priests certainly, especially again in the court and weird setting, there's, as we've covered through all the various domains and a couple of the sort of theocracies that exist, still there's a lot of non-political priestly domains out there. Again, we've covered all of those as well. So, in this setting, certainly your priest is definitely going to be more involved in politics, as there's, especially for like Halen, there's so many rival denominations for the church. So even though we say maybe non-political domain, certainly your church is going to be very much in the thick of the politics of the Anawir setting, and that's really what makes priests here a little bit different, where you're going to definitely be dealing with that in some capacity, especially as you rise through the ranks, whether it's as a actual regent. Certainly you're looking out for the interests of your particular church, but also as a player character coming up and perhaps serving in service with one of those churches, and perhaps having to deal with other priests, whether it's of other gods or again other denominations of that particular faith, as we'll see in some instances as well. So certainly would be advisable to have a character that, as they level up, certainly can handle all those things as well, because certainly other people will be perhaps out to deal with you and maybe not look so fondly upon your character if they were, let's say, adventuring in a different church's territory, things like that. So you might not always receive a friendly welcome depending on where you're going. But let us know, guys, in the comments some memorable stories of any priest characters you've run in the setting, whether it's, again, classic Anawir or any of the other expanded territories, but also any regions that you've run as priests. What domain? Was it one of the non-political ones, or like something like Medawir or Telenier, or something else that has happened? So hit us up in the comments there, guys. Like and subscribe. We'll be back with more. We'll cover wizards next, and then move on to a couple other things as well. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching.